What's up, everybody? It's Matt again with driverstudio.com. I wanted to give you all a couple tips today just on how to price your car and how to explain the condition of your vehicle. Now, these are just my ideas, my tips, my kind of know-how after selling. I know I haven't sold a lot of cars. Me personally, I've probably bought and sold, owned maybe 65, 70 cars. So now we'll jump right into the very first thing. The number one thing about your car when you go to sell it is your price. You've got to find out a good price, middle of the road. Obviously, you don't want to price your car too low because you want to get as much money out of your deal as possible, but you also don't want to price your car too high because right off the rip, that's going to push a lot of people away, especially then if they've been looking for the same kind of car as what you have. So you really need to do your due diligence and kind of investigate. What I'm going to recommend is going to as many online sites as you can. Of course, go to Craigslist, go to Facebook Marketplace, maybe OfferUp, eBay, any kind of website out there. I would say focus. If you're a person like myself who just periodically is selling a car, you're going to want to look for websites that sell primarily with owners, not dealers. Dealers always have a markup. They've got to pay for rent. They've got to pay for their online advertisement. They've got to pay for their detailer. They've got to pay for a multitude of things. So number one, you're going to go online and find as many comparable cars. Maybe try to find cars that are 2 years older to 2 years newer. And you're going to take those prices, just kind of get a vague average. When you're doing that, you want to make sure that the car is comparable. You want to look up, you want to ask yourself, is my car as nice? Is my car better? Is my car significantly worse off? Take that kind of car, do that kind of math, figure it out, and just say, okay, these are cars that are comparable. These are cars that I would say compare up to my specific vehicle. That's a great way to kind of justify your price, because then when somebody asks, you have to be expected almost always, 99.9% of the time, they're going to try to talk you down on the price, at least a little bit. Maybe some people are thinking, I'm losing sleep on this car. My 69 Chevelle I just sold a couple weeks back, maybe a month or so ago. That's literally what the new owner said. He said he was losing sleep. So that does happen occasionally where people just say, got to have your car, got to buy it right now. You might even get into a little bit of a bidding war. Somebody says, I've got to have it. And another person calls up, man, I can be out there this weekend, in a couple days. I don't promote typically for you to hold on to a car because you never want to lose out on a deal. But maybe they're willing to say, if you can hold the car for a couple days, maybe they'll shoot you a down payment through PayPal or something. Then you're going to say, well, I'd take your price, but you're going to have to come up a little bit more because I got a guy coming tonight, or a gal coming tonight, whichever, girls buy cars too. So anyways, that's one of my biggest things for you is just go online, look around. Don't just come up with a price because one or two of your friends said, oh, you'll get at least this much for your car. You've really got to go out there and do some research and find out why people are selling their cars for that reason. And like I said, if you don't want to hold on to your car for a long time, price your car a little bit below than that average. If you're okay with sitting on your car for a month or two, price your car a little bit higher. Maybe you'll get some extra money. So that is what I like to say in regards to how to justify your price and how to post your car online for sale for the right price that's going to fit your potential purchaser's budget. Now, in regards to the condition of your car, you definitely want to walk around, look at all those little things. You really kind of got to fine tune your car. That's one of the things is people, you may think that your car is in really nice shape or really, really rough, but beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So one of the things you need to do is you need to go around your car and kind of refresh your memory on things that have been messed up, things that aren't perfect on your car. I personally, whenever I sell my car condition-wise, I like to undershoot. I like to tell people about the bad things. I like to focus on those things just so people don't come out and look at your car and are completely blown away by the things that you've hidden. You may not have necessarily realized you were hiding those things about your car, but you might have just gotten used to those little things. To a lot of people, myself included, it's not the worst thing in the world if the AC doesn't work, if the heater doesn't work on a classic car. But to some people who've never bought in a classic car, or finally they've saved up that knot of cash, and now they're going to come up to you and they want to buy it, they're blown away when the windshield wipers don't work, When we're thinking, hey, we're just out cruising on nice days. But those are the kind of things that you want to be super transparent about and show people, hey, these are the things that are bad about my car. On the flip side of that, of course, focus on the things that are great about your car. You definitely want to be able to tell people, hey, it's got a brand new rear end, carburetor just got rebuilt by a professional mechanic, I just had the car ceramic coated. Those kinds of things will make your car stand out from the crowd. So on our website, We have 5 different categories. I just want to make sure that I say the right thing in the right order in regards to saying what your car condition-wise is, okay? So, of course, we have excellent. That's pretty much self-explanatory. If you really truly believe your car is excellent, it's been mothballed, it's been sitting in your garage all winter long underneath the car cover, maybe it really is excellent. My car's not excellent. It looks really good, but there are little things here and there about it. So I always, this car's kind of been up for sale, the 57 wagon that I have under the car cover. Once again, the 57 wagon under the car cover. But anyways, you just want to make sure that they're aware of what you feel is excellent and try to be as honest and straightforward as possible. And then, of course, down from there, we have driver, okay? Now, what I mean by driver, what we mean at driverstudio.com by driver, is something you can hop into. Pretty much everything's going to work as it should. Somebody's going to be able to, maybe buy your car from a state or two away and probably make it home without any issues. Now, you could take that in, respect to a newer car. Let's say you have a car that's 10 years old. You got a 2011 RAV4. You could say it's total driver car. It's got 130,000 miles on it. It might have some hiccups here and there, but you could drive the car every day, commute, get to and from work, and you're not going to have any issues or concerns. That's what we mean by driver. Something you can hop into, fire it up, drive it all the time, no real issues, no concerns. Now we're going to go to middle of the road. Okay, so now middle of the road, that is definitely something you have to use your better judgment on. Now, when I say middle of the road, what I mean is you can start the car up. Maybe, like I said, the wipers might not work, the heater may not work, but you can surely on a nice day hop in it, drive it to the gas station. If it's a classic car, you can get out there, you can go stunting, you can go to a local show. You might not be able to make it 3 or 4 states away because it hasn't been driven that much. Maybe seals are bad on a few things, but it's a good car to get into, hop in, play around with. Maybe if it's a newer vehicle, like I said, that RAV4 kind of situation, you're going to be able to use the car, but you probably wouldn't want to throw your 16-year-old kid behind the wheel in that car. You just want to say, middle of the road, right below that driver category, is something to where gets the job done, but it still needs to have some work done to it, okay? Now, you've got your fixer-upper, okay? That is what we have on our site as the 4th one down, okay? Now, fixer-upper. I know some people might think that, I gotta say, I almost feel like I'm a bad person to explain this, because when I think of fixer-upper, I honestly feel like fixer-upper is probably a lot worse from my terminology as it may be to the average person. But I'm gonna try to be as honest as possible. I feel like fixer-upper is something that probably doesn't run and drive, probably needs significant cosmetic help, but maybe not a full restoration. It's, we'll just go with a 70s Chevelle. It's been sitting in somebody's field for a long time. It's relatively complete. All the parts are there, but you need to do some work on it. You need to fix it up. You need to go out there, maybe get new tires on it, go through the brake system, make sure that, all your fuel lines are good, those kinds of things. It looks pretty good, but you're going to need to fix things up on the car. That's a fixer-upper. Like I said, obviously for me, a fixer-upper, I always kind of paint the picture, especially when I'm talking with my wife. I like to say a fixer-upper is, oh, it's not that bad. It's only been sitting, in a pond for 30 years, and I'm probably going to try to tackle it. That's just because I like to justify to myself so I can sleep at night that a fixer-upper is actually doable. But use your best judgment on that. A fixer-upper typically is something that's going to need significant amount of work. It needs fixed up, and you've got to be willing to get out there and wrench on it, and you've got to have the skills and know-how to actually get that car running and driving again, okay? And like I said, maybe cosmetic work. Maybe it needs a fender replaced, a door replaced, a trunk lid replaced. Maybe even has some rust. Maybe it's missing glass, like the station wagon underneath the car cover. But, so that aside, now we go to the 5th and final category. That's the junk category. Now, the reason why we have junk on our website is because it's my idea. It's my website. I feel like a lot of guys like me, we love going out. We love looking at junk. We go to a lot of swap meets. We look at junk all the time, and we fall in love with junk. Junk is fantastic. If you want to get yourself into a car for relatively inexpensive and you want to spend way too much money on trying to get that car up and going because it's the car of your dreams, it's probably a piece of junk. That being said, we do love junk. I got to reiterate, we love junk. Junk cars are fantastic. They're fun to look at. It's fun to go out into a field and find a field full of cars, you end up getting that deer in headlights kind of look, and you just are, wow, I'm overwhelmed by all these cool old cars, but they're probably mostly junk. You know, they sell great. Man, I'll tell you what, I can't tell you how many times I've seen a car out there and I'm like, oh man, that car is rough. I gotta have it. I fall in love with junk cars all the time. But if you're not in this world of working on and restoring cars, you know, which obviously Driver Studio is great for everybody, we feel like, for any kind of level of vehicle, junk cars are something you gotta be aware that it might be more than you can bite off and chew. That being said, it is fun to have one sitting on the side of your garage, out in your driveway under a tarp, being able to say, hey, I've got an 81 Z28, or I've got a 65 Chevelle, or, you know, a Model A project car. A lot of people might think it's junk, but it's something you might love. So that's kind of our junk category. That junk category pretty much means it needs everything, but it's still a cool old car. And then of course you got the newer vehicles out there that are junk, have a salvage title or something like that. You know, they do kind of fall into their own little world of what junk might mean to those, but you just got to be prepared on a junk car. If it's got that category marked on our site, you probably are going to have to do most everything. So I hope this helps a little bit in explanation as to how we say the condition of our vehicles on our site, and how for you to be able to find what you should price your vehicle at. Like I said, once again, just to touch on it real quick, the 5 categories on our site, we have excellent, we have driver, we have middle of the road, we have fixer upper, and we have junk, okay? Just a quick recap on that. And then of course, how to find your pricing condition wise on your car. You need to go out there and you need to look at multiple websites. You need to find multiple vehicles that are in similar years, just like your car. Try to get it as many factors of those cars as possible, like your vehicle. And that's really going to give you an honest idea of where you should place your vehicle when you're putting it up for sale in the market. So once again, I hope this helps. We love you guys. Thank you for the support. Remember to check us out anytime you want to put a car up for sale, anytime you want to post up your project that you've been working on. We've got a new category coming up here real soon so people can go on there and just show what you're working on. Even if your car's not for sale, maybe it will be in the future, maybe not. Maybe you just wouldn't mind entertaining offers to see what people think your car is truly worth. It might be lower than what you think it's worth. Somebody might blow your mind with an offer and you might want to sell it. So anyways, we appreciate your time. We love you guys. We'll see you next time. Remember, driverstudio.com, DRIVERSSTUDIO. Driver Studio out.